Welcome back, Portugal Junkies.
Hello.
This is our last podcast episode of 2024.
Yeah.
How am I this old?
Oh, I don't know where the year's gone. Well, actually, I do. But
it's pretty clear where it's gone.
Yeah, it's been recorded. And
We've
all of
documented
that,
it.
documented everything, just to remember what it's all been about.
That's right.
So, yeah.
I'm very proud. I'm very proud of our 2024 for, 11-7 reasons.
Yeah.
But by the way, we moved abroad. So, number one.
If you weren't sure.
If you weren't paying attention.
Here's a quick catch-up.
But we did hit our 1-year anniversary recently here in Portugal, which has been amazing. And we thought what we would do for our last podcast episode of 2024 is to, number one, celebrate a couple things, because I think it's really important that we celebrate and also say thank you to the folks that have been listening and supporting us. And engaging with us. And it's just really given us a purpose and, honestly, a community.
Yeah.
In a different way during this year that has been so different.
Absolutely.
For us.
Love
and
it.
Wonderful, but yes, lots of transition. So, we thought we'd celebrate a couple things today.
Oh, absolutely.
And then literally give you every resource that we have created or linked you to, so that while we're gone for a couple weeks and you have some downtime, you can tap into these resources that can help you make some decisions like we did and, make 2025 like whatever you want it to be when it comes to moving abroad, maybe.
Yeah, a bit of a kick-off for 2025. I mean, everybody does the whole New Year, New Me type thing, and it's just like, okay, well, make it happen. Seriously, if that's what you want to do. Or alternatively, if it's like New Year, may want to make it happen, then that's also fine.
That's right. Or you come over, you explore a little bit, and you're like, that's not for me.
Correct. But you make sure you have a good holiday and just try all the local stuff.
There's all kinds of stuff. So 2025 can be anything you want it to be. So we are going to be here to hopefully help you along. We're going to talk a little bit later about what we're going to be doing more in 2025 and all that jazz. Yep. But let's celebrate first.
Okay, let's do it.
I love this part.
Okay.
He doesn't really even know all the stats because I was in the other room, doing analytics this morning.
Right. Yeah, so not...
We are celebrating.
Yes.
How many listens? How many listens have we had on this podcast since we launched in May?
I would say lots.
We've had over 11,000 listens.
Oh,
wow, right?
11,000.
We have also have an average audience of almost 600.
Really?
Yeah. What do you think our number one platform is?
Oh, gosh. Apple.
Yeah. 70% or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Spotify's
next
I don't think
to
it surprises
20
me necessarily,
something.
but yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then you're going to love this one. How many countries do you think we've been streamed in?
Well, there's 189 countries in the world. I don't think we've made it around yet.
No, now you're going to make it sound bad.
Oh. Yeah, but some of them are, very small, and probably the Vatican as a city doesn't allow you to come
Oh my God, just guess.
God, I don't know. 20.
19. We're in 19 countries already. I'm pretty impressed with that.
That's crazy.
It is crazy to think about it.
Well, the other thing that's great about that, though, if you think about it, is that I don't know which countries they are, but they're all clearly English understanding.
Sure. Or, most people are teaching
do.
dual languages.
Right. That's
Except
really cool.
America.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So anyway.
And there we go.
Here's the thing. We would not have been able to celebrate those things without you guys. And we have such a big, grateful heart of all the folks that have supported us along the way with this and listened. And again, what we've said earlier, it's just, we are humbled by all of it, and we just hope to grow even more in 2025.
I think we will.
Because we will be back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We're just taking a break.
We
have plenty more to talk about. Right? Like, what does year 2 actually look
like? There's always more
like?
to talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2020, I think next year we're going to do some things a little bit differently. I also think that we've learned a lot.
Yeah.
You know, starting from scratch to today. I'm just really looking forward and very hopeful for creating more
value
and out
help.
there and help and advice and all of those things. And in some cases, you know, just good old-fashioned humour and some good old-fashioned naughty words. That's not going to stop.
Naughty words.
Naughty words.
I mean, the fact that you are talking about cussing and you're saying naughty, that's just sad.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Like,
I'll surprise you. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to do it right now, but I'll shock you, surprise you. Halfway through a bit of a conversation.
Well, let's keep we can keep the explicit ones to the ones where I'm bitching about something.
Well, yeah, that'll be on all the retakes that we do. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the first thing. So here's what we are going to spend our time doing today.
Doing this quick.
Is now that we are going to take a little break and we'll be back in sometime in January. We thought we would reiterate the key resources that are out here from us and from other places that we know are helpful to other people. Yep. So that, again, when you're having some downtime and this is still on your mind and you're thinking about moving or you're thinking about Portugal travel or whatever it may be, that you'll have some things to turn to while we're gone.
Yeah.
So the first couple of things. On our stand store, we have a couple of free resources.
Yep.
One is a Pet to Portugal timeline, and one is our template of the D7 like personal statement that you have to use in your application, or you have to submit a personal statement. So we thought, okay, well, we'll put ours up there, how we did ours, and you can use it as a guide or change it to whatever you wish. Those are free. Yeah. Those are 100% free on there. And I will also say, the other thing on Stand Store, all of this is on Stand Store, but the other thing that I will refer you to is our referrals to our tax advisor, Hui, who has been on the podcast a couple times, and João Pinto, who is our immigration attorney who helps people from start to finish with the process of immigration.
But he also does a la carte.
He does, but I mean, he can do it from start to finish if you want him to. And so I'm not quite sure, like, their availability over the holidays, but you can at least get something started and maybe schedule some time with them. And there's also discounts involved because they were kind enough to offer that through us. So, those are the first things I would tell you to look at.
Yeah.
We were talking about, top episodes.
Go on, yes.
What's your top episodes?
Oh my gosh. The ones I enjoyed the most?
No, the ones that are probably the most helpful.
Probably about the move, like after the election. Top 5 things.
Oh, yes. That is the top episode, by the way.
Right,
I knew it was up there. Listened, yes. So I think it's called, First Steps to Moving Abroad, or First 5 Steps to Moving Abroad. It was in November, so it's a very recent one. That is definitely a good one. Mm-hmm. I would also say the budget one we recently did was very popular. Yeah. We gave an inside look at our actual expenses, and I think even though you'll never be able to compare directly, it's really cool to be able to see what people are actually spending and where they think maybe they're overspending or all the things. And compare, because that's the most important thing when people are like, can we actually financially do that? Right. Or will it be better? Or will it be worse? And all the things. So those are 2. And I would say also, with a big caveat, but the 3D7 episodes.
Yep.
So I think it's episodes 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8, something like that.
It was early on.
Yes, it was a D7 immigration process overview, and then we did a deep dive onto the documents over 2 episodes.
Over 2 episodes, sure.
I say caveat here because some things could have changed. In fact, this week we discovered one thing that absolutely did change, which is Your FBI background check used to be, if you keep it sealed in the envelope and don't open it, that's acceptable. Now it has to be apostilled. That is a new change, and here's the problem though, and this is always the problem when they change things.
They don't tell anybody.
They don't tell anybody really, or there's not a clear way that they tell the masses.
Right.
But they also tend to implement it sporadically when it starts.
So one office might do it, and another office might not yet.
Right. And so there's confusion on what is actually accepted and what isn't. So we actually had some clients run into this already.
Right.
In just like this
last
month.
Week.
Yes, last week.
Yeah.
So long story short, there may be some things like that we didn't have to do then that you might have to do now. We always refer you to the VFS checklist and all the other stuff. And other external resources that are, the forums on Facebook are really great. They can also be overwhelming.
Yes, absolutely they can.
And I will say, so sometimes it's good to just have the phone number of someone like Joao, where you're like, maybe you pay him for an hour or whatever it is to make sure that you've got all your shit together and it's up to date.
Right.
But I do say that those 3 episodes give you a really good, clear understanding of the D7 process and how to present yourself in the best way, right? And so those things, I think, generally won't change. But some of the details around some of the pieces could. So
absolutely.
Give you that caveat.
And again, you just don't know what will change. I mean, again, some of the change that's coming up or has already, and that is the minimum wage.
True.
That's now going to be reflected. I think it starts 25.
Yeah.
It's a couple of extra euros, which it is what it is, and great for Portuguese people for sure. Portugal is increasing the basic minimum wage by 6.1%. The basic minimum wage is $8.20. So do the maths.
Yeah. Maths.
That's also then going to be reflected in
what
the
you have to
visa
prove.
application. But again, you've just got to know these things are happening. It should be pretty clear on the VFS website, and although, as you mentioned earlier, about all the external other resources. If you're working with a lawyer already or some immigration platform, then they're going to know these things.
Hopefully.
But hopefully, yeah. It's just, again, things change. I'm not going to say constantly, but when they do change, you can sometimes really get caught out.
You can, and it can just be, sometimes it's just timing of things.
Yes, and it's not even about, actually, I'll take that back, it's not even about not keeping up, because you are keeping up when you prep all your folder and it's like 3 inches thick, and you get there and it's like, oh no, I need something different. I need that apostille. It's like, well, where the hell does that come from? And, so these changes do happen. And
they will always. They're always going to update things.
Yeah, you can only go with your best foot forward. Always remember you've got 10 days to appeal or supply additional documentation. So I don't believe that's gone away. I think that's always going to be there. But yeah, enough said really.
The other thing that I saw somebody on TikTok bring up the other day, which I was like, ooh. So
I think I know what you're going to say. Yes, the FBI check. Yeah.
So right now,
I don't know enough about it. Yeah, I've not done all of the research. But,
well, I haven't either.
Right.
So this is off the cuff.
Okay.
Surprise!
So with a caveat of this may change.
Well, right now with the FBI background check, which is the thing that now needs to be apostilled, apparently.
Right.
That's what the Portuguese embassy or the consulate is looking for. They want to make sure that they understand your criminal background history. Okay.
That you're not a felon.
You're not. Yes. That
Sorry.
Okay. So, what happens in the U.S. if or when, Project 2025 is talking about basically doing away with the FBI completely.
Right.
And I say Project 2025, but it's really just not so president-elect. But, the FBI, the current leader of the FBI has just said he's resigning before Trump takes over. And I I anticipate that there would obviously they're talking about the knee replacement, which is a whole other problem. But anyway, if they do move forward and they somehow abolish the FBI or something,
where are you going to get?
Where are you going to get an FBI background check from? And how's that going to affect the applications?
Right. Because while I can't guarantee it, I can pretty much be sure that in some way or other, Portugal is still going to want
to know what your criminal history is.
Because just because you can't get it through the FBI or America, many other countries still operate the DBS check or the whatever it is. So I don't know what the
that's going down a rabbit hole.
But again, something to keep in mind for 2025, 26 as you move forward.
Just keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Here's how we're helping. Here's how we plan. We've currently been helping clients, but also how we are planning on helping more of you in 2025.
Yep. Drum roll.
Drum roll is the easiest one is we've been opening ourselves up for one-on-one calls, and it's actually been really fun. And we started doing this because we felt like when we were going through the process and doing the research and trying to figure out if Portugal was the place, and then the process of the immigration and application and all this other stuff, we felt like we just needed someone to talk to.
Like a sounding board.
Yeah, not necessarily calling us to be the experts on certain things like taxes, for example.
Because that ain't going to happen.
But just asking general stuff, general questions about things and situations that might influence you one way or the other, and we didn't have anybody really. Right. And so again, we always, when we have a one-on-one, which we had with a couple from Chicago the other day, who are now our besties.
Great fun.
had the greatest time talking to them. This is a recurring situation with us. This is how we meet our friends. But we had a great call with them. They asked us, tons of questions about all different kinds of topics. And when we weren't the experts, we said it.
Yeah.
And when we weren't the experts, we would refer them to the people that we know that are. Yeah. Taxes, immigration, process, all that other stuff.
Absolutely.
But kind of the down and dirty stuff that you can't, it doesn't, what category does, a question about I don't even know. The most random shit that we used to have questions about and had no idea where to go.
Yeah.
That's kind of what this is designed for.
Yeah. I just think that sometimes you just need to speak to somebody that's actually gone through it and done it.
Right.
Suffered the perils of some of the things that we've done wrong, and suffered the highs of that we've achieved. And you just got to love both sides of that, because you can't not.
Yeah.
And so sometimes, it's things like, I'm thinking of bringing a car over. Don't. Unless it's a really special thing, but don't.
We do give our opinion.
Yeah, you ask a question, I'm going to give you an opinion. Whether you follow it or not, that's entirely your call.
Yeah.
But
that's a good example.
Right. But even not silly, but even things like medication.
How much is a prescription for
X? It's
Yeah.
In my case, it's like €2 for 2 months
60
worth.
days.
Yeah, 56 days or something. And it's just the reality of asking a question that you think you're going to wince at the answer, and the answer you actually get is really heartening.
Yeah. So that's why we've opened ourselves for those kinds of calls, and those are on the Sand Store as well if you want to book with us.
Yep.
We might have a little bit more limited availability over the holidays, but we're still going to be willing to do that.
Yeah, we'll still have some.
And we're going to be separated for a good week in there, so we may have to really work on the timing of that. But,
absolutely.
So that's one way we're helping. The other, and by the way, the couple that is in Chicago that we talked to, they got their appointment scheduled for the end of this month. And they're going to arrive
12th
in January.
Yeah.
In January-ish. So it's very exciting. They're going to come here and spend time while they're waiting for their visa, like we did.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The second way the second thing we're spending our time doing next year is
customized itineraries.
Yeah, this is Mark's piece. He loves this.
So
in another world, he would have been like a travel a guest agent or something. You just love crafting trips for people.
Yeah. And to that point, when you and the girls were over the other month, you were organising it for you and the girls.
Oh, man.
And I was just like sitting in the back,
chomping at the bit,
like in the dark, rocking, thinking, I wouldn't do it like that.
I'd
do it like this. I'd do it like this. But you know,
you
it's
don't
just
know how to plan a bodacious Tenderoni trip. Okay, come on.
Given what happened, I think I can now. It's pretty simple. Involves anyway.
Next.
Next.
So this is what. So tell them a good example of like the customer that you helped a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. So.
Basically, you book a call with Mark.
Yeah, book a call.
And then you talk about.
It's like a free 30-minute chit chat about where you want to be, where you think you want to be,
or if you just want to travel.
Right. So it's designed around what you want to do. It's not a off the shelf. Here's 1 week in Porto and the 25 things you should do. Like the top 25 things we've got. Blah, blah, blah. And some of those are definitely things that you want to go and see, but you want to do it in a way, in my opinion, that helps you understand the country, especially if it's for furthering an idea about do I want to live here. So it's not about going and seeing and checking into all the tourist places. It's much wider than that.
Yeah.
And it's also a case that you tell me, you know, ultimately this is where I land, this is when I land, this is where I'm leaving from, and this is the date. And let's chat. Let's, you know, if you've got some ideas that you want to really get into the history of Portugal, okay, well, let's explore the areas that are really going to speak to that.
But it's not
really
just
about customers.
Clarify though, it's not just for scouting and it's not just for travel. It can be either or both.
Absolutely.
You know, if you're just coming because you are intrigued with Portugal and you want to explore this beautiful country, that we can do that too. Yeah. But a lot of people are coming to us and asking because they have this idea that I think I might want to live there. So you're traveling with that lens of recon. Like,
right.
Is this going to actually be a place where I can live? And that might change the kinds of things that we recommend for you to go see and do.
You know, but the original conversation with her was, you know, we're looking at 4 to 5 weeks in January, February. And it's changed now to about 3 to 4 weeks, probably in May. Because, again, through the conversations about where they want to be and the impact of the weather, the impact of what's going to be open for what they wanted.
Yeah, you made a recommendation.
Recommendations are, well, you might want to push it back a little bit. And, you know, if you've got the opportunity to do that, and they did, then that works better for everybody. Because ultimately, you walk away with a package that you are happy with, and at the end of it has served all the purposes that you've wanted out of a holiday or whatever it is that you're here for. So yeah, it's really built around what you want.
And it's like a magic app.
Right.
So we deliver it. Yeah. We deliver it on an app.
Right. So it's again, it's designed in a system that's very informative. It gives you all the, you know, ultimately when you've landed on, okay, this is my itinerary from day 1 to day 20, whatever it is. It gets sent to you through email. You get a link. You access that. It allows you to download the app, like a travel app, where you will then find your whole itinerary in there with all the pictures, all the information, the maps. So if you wanted to travel to somewhere, you hit that and it will automatically do the mapping for you. It's not like you've got to copy paste into a map and have I got the right presser or not. You know, you know you're going to the right place because it's all built in there, and that stays with you forever. And if it needs to go to more than you, if you've got a family, if there's a group of you and you want it sent to everybody, fine. It's really no different in the cost because the app is the app. It's a free app. The itinerary is the itinerary. That's something that's been built and customised.
It's really
so
cool.
I'm really looking forward to doing more. I've got 3 on the go at the moment for next year.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's definitely my bug. I get very happy about that.
I love it. And then the last thing that we're going to do, and this is specific to people who are interested in moving to the Algarve. We actually helped our friends, well, they were our friends after we talked to them for an hour and a half on a call about this.
Yep.
They already knew that they were moving to Tavira. They just needed...
You know who you are.
They just needed help of finding an apartment and finding the right place for them and their son. And Mark opened doors for them here. So basically, we can help open doors to apartments, or we can work with you in a package deal where it's like, I might not know that I want to live in Tavira. I might want to explore places, 2 or 3 places in Tavira, go to Lagos, go to Carboero, and look at apartments in all those places, either with us or virtually, which is usually what it is, virtually.
Yeah.
And we'll help you find the right place for yourself, but through an American lens. Right? Well, I mean... He's American,
I am
technically.
American, don't you? Yeah.
But it is important. I feel like we kind of missed that boat. If you have not listened to our episode on the biggest mistake we made in Portugal,
go back.
It's another one to watch. But it was with our first apartment. We severely overpaid for it.
Yep.
The entryway and lobby was
horrendous.
It was horrendous, and I didn't really love the street we were on. But those were not the things that we were shown in our video, and we were working with someone who was from Portugal, and so I don't necessarily think that they would look at any of that and be concerned about it because they lived in Porto, right? That is what life is. Apartment buildings and
It wasn't anything out of the ordinary to them.
But it might be to immigrants coming here from the United States with a certain thought of what they expect or what they are anticipating. Mm-hmm. And because of that mistake, we quickly were like, oh, well, we could definitely help people do that because, it's things that we didn't think of that we would now question for a client, right? And be like,
and again,
is there AC in here?
Right, and big thing, because in some of them, there is no AC.
There's no dishwasher here. Okay.
Coming from a lens of real estate in the States, we're both still brokers over there and licensed. Associated with a firm here with EXP. So again, you get all of the benefits of the US programming.
Lens,
in that
program.
Well, it is, isn't it? Because,
because you're used to it.
One of the places that we took these guys to, or that we showed virtually to these guys, I walked in and it was just like, no. But you're still going to go through the motions because just because I'm a no to it,
they might not
be. And then at the end of it, it's like, okay, well, we're going to send you a quick video, really just saying what we think, totally up front,
things
totally
to think about,
to carry on. And ultimately, they decided that was not the one, based on the feedback and their own impressions. I think a lot of it. But the one that we did find for them, they're in there for 2 weeks now.
I'm actually kind of jealous of them.
Yeah, because
they're in the middle of town, and it's this, I haven't even seen it yet. All I've seen is because Mark did that himself.
It is a very Portuguese.
The bougainvillea tree is above their door. Yeah. It's so Portugal and so Tavira. So I'm very jealous.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
So again, it's really a case of we can do it in Tavira.
Well, it's really the Algarve. Yes, we're not going to just be like we're all over Portugal, but that's just another way we're helping people in 2025.
Right.
So.
And if there is someone that or if Porto or Lisbon or somewhere is the place that you want to go and explore, fine, let us know.
Yeah, we can
probably put you in touch with somebody through our connections.
Yeah.
We
have connections.
Well, I do. You have friends. I have connections. I have some friends. I do. Yeah, I'm counting them up now.
He has more friends than he knows what to do with now that we're in Tavira. It's just been crazy and lovely.
It has. Created more friendships here in 2 months than we did in Porto in 9 months.
Almost a year. Yeah.
That's crazy. So yes, there's many ways that we will be able to help. And if there's other things that you want to do and you're not sure if we can do it for you or point you in a direction, send us a message, jump on a call, whatever it is. The whole idea is that we want to create some opportunities available to everybody that we felt that we didn't have or couldn't find.
Right.
When we were doing it. Yeah.
Fill the gap.
So it's really about that.
Here's to 2025 then.
Here's to 2025, for definite. Actually, what we should have done was had a glass of bubbly or something so we could cheers it out.
Oh no! We'll cheers into 2025.
Okay, absolutely. Okay. We'll do that later.
Okay. We want to thank you so much again and wish you a very lovely holiday season wherever you are.
Yep.
And the empath in me really wants to say, as you move into 2025, don't be afraid, right? Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid of pursuing this if it's something that still creeps up on you and taps you on the shoulder and, you keep coming back to it because ultimately that's what happened for us.
Yep.
And it kept just hanging right here and saying, hey, don't forget about me. Right. I'm Portugal. Portugal's calling.
Well, that was the thing, isn't it? We'd gone backwards and forwards, I don't know how many times, whether we were going to do it or not.
Couldn't count. And
the fact that we kept going back to it and not, and back to it and not, I think was real evidence that it was something we had to step forward with. At least coming here, do some Reiki work and... Yeah.
I think the biggest thing to remember is that it can feel overwhelming and it can feel impossible and it can feel almost like a dream that you don't really believe in sometimes. But I encourage you to really say screw that. Really. I mean, honestly. Families move over here all the time. Mm-hmm. People move with ailing parents. People move with kids with disabilities.
Absolutely.
People move as singles.
Yeah.
It happens every day.
Yeah. It
doesn't mean that you are completely disconnecting from your life there, especially with technology. It's hard. Some people just never get over the hump of believing that they could or getting through the hurdles that they feel like might be in the way. Right? And I hope that as you go into 2025, that you'll believe in it a little bit more if you're feeling that way. Because the worst thing that could happen is that you just go home.
Yeah.
The worst thing that could happen is that you try this out and you move over here and maybe it's not the end all be all that you wanted it to be and oh darn, you go back home.
Yeah.
But you've done it and you've tried it and you won't ever have to regret not doing it.
Right.
So that's my wish for you all for 2025 and I hope that we can be even more help going forward.
Absolutely.
Because it's really important to us to be
part of
resources.
That. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll always end it with, we can sit here for days, hours, whatever, and talk about things that we think are important.
Yes.
Every single time. You got something on your mind, send us a message.
Yeah. We already had a couple people say, I would love to see an episode on this, and I'd love to see an episode on that. So we've already got a couple lined up for January and February, but please keep those coming because I would really, really love to know and be inspired by the things that you want to talk about and hear about and listen to.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
But thank you so much. We are so...
Thank you doesn't seem really enough.
I know. And you know what? We're all Portugal junkies now.
Yeah.
So you are all Portugal junkies, and we were proud to be that alongside you.
Absolutely.
So, cheers to 2025.
Cheers to 2025.
Happy holidays, and we'll see you on the flip side.
We'll see you on the other side of it. Take care. Have
Bye,
fun.
you guys.
Bye.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Listen up, future expats. For more content about our move, the visa process, Portuguese culture and destinations, and tons of support resources for your own decisions and potential move abroad, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Portugal Junkies.
Stay in touch and help us reach more people by subscribing here and following us there.
Cheers, y'all!
Let's go.